welcome everyone. This is No Bullshit Gaming Podcast and Gamer Session number 34. We are sharing actionable insights, dropping knowledge from our day-to-day user acquisition, game design, and ad monetization jobs. Also discussing the latest industry news from time to time while having so much fun. Let's not forget, this is still a 4 a.m. conference discussion vibe. Let's not take it too seriously. Today, we have Felix Braberg here, Jakub Remjar, and myself, Matej Lančarič. How are you guys? Long time no see. few days.
Great.
Great. Well, you're not the COVID casa anymore, so no lag.
Yeah, no COVID this time. Oh, happily. So
Well, at
that's
least for
great.
you.
Looked like you had a great mushroom trip though, with the pictures you sent.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, mushrooms. Still, some of those are in my freezer, so saving them
Really?
for later. Yeah.
Any fun times for
Normal
later?
mushrooms,
What
but
kind of mushrooms was it?
Yeah.
normal. Like I don't even know how they call it in English. To be honest, they're just kind of like forest mushrooms.
Yeah,
the
I don't
normal
believe you.
ones.
You've been super creative in our chat group, so yeah, super creative
Yeah.
lately. So yeah, what's going on?
Anyway, I have a sheep surprise today, and even like a matching T-shirt.
Ooh, what's okay. So next time I need to come up with something that matches the theme of the discussion. Kimono last time, now sheep t-shirt. What the fuck? Should I go naked next time or what should I
You
what should
already
happen?
did that.
Oh yeah, that's true.
The whole summer.
That's true, yeah. Yeah,
We
well,
do we have any PGC gossip from last week?
not sure actually. I enjoyed the whole PGC vibe. Conference was good. Some of the companies actually complain about sponsoring and not getting enough of what they actually sponsored. So spent a lot of money and didn't get anything. Well, didn't get what they want, what they should. So let's see how
Saucy.
that goes. Yeah, I know, right? But like it's after COVID PGC. The same thing happened for one of our Slovak music festivals. It was really like the best festival all the time with really high quality services. Now after COVID, it was just trash. Not trash,
Yeah,
but
I
it
think
wasn't the same thing.
same happened with Gamescom. It was like much smaller compared to the previous
Well,
one. I
tell
guess
me about it.
every like after COVID edition thing will be kind of a after
I
COVID.
felt like Gamescom this year was the best Gamescom I've ever been to.
Yeah, fuck
Probably the
off.
best one ever that will
Of
ever
course,
take
of
place.
course, the
What?
best of the best. Because I was at home.
2018 was the best for me.
There you go.
There we go.
No, but yeah, I definitely enjoyed the quiz we had on Monday with Singer, Uptwig, and Split Metrics. Thank you very much, guys, for organizing that and inviting us as a special guest. No, it was good to meet people face to face, but I think I'm done with the conference for some time. It's, too many people. Yeah. Oh, any news, guys?
Yeah, I wanted to share one big piece of news. Google Stadia shut down.
Oh no. Well, anyway.
All right, so I want to move on to APS bidding updates. So APS, for those of you who don't know, is Amazon Publisher Services, and I wanted to.
Wait. So we are
What?
going to talk about this update. Then we're going to talk about some other updates. Amazon. I'm gonna share a few comments regarding my latest Global Laundry newsletter tip, and then talk about a low budget UA tip as well, because that's something that was surfacing on LinkedIn recently. And then we have the sheep game that Jakub was talking about. So let's see. Okay, well, you can continue, Felix.
Oh, thank you. So I wanted to give an update about Amazon Publisher Services, or APS, and its bidder performance on Max. In short, it's good but quirky. So I just wanted to start with a bit of top line information where you actually should care. So in 2021, Amazon was responsible for 14.6% of the overall US digital ad market. Google 26% and Facebook 24%. So, they're not just a small player anymore. They're actually growing. And this actually has impact on us as well now, because Max has taken a notice of this And in the last couple of months, you've been able to get a closed beta access to APS via Max. So you can have
Hmm.
Amazon like inventory as a bidder. And I say bidder with a little bit of a wink because I'm not sure it is a bidder in the traditional sense. It's an auction that takes place outside of Max and then sends a price point fill like to compete with the other networks. So yeah, it's a bit confusing. There'll be way more confusing things as I kind of do
Hmm.
this little segment, but it's
Amazing.
important here to notice that Amazon is currently only running banner inventory. So if you're a publisher that runs mainly video inventory, then Amazon is not the network for you right now. They have announced that they're going to roll out support for other creative types, but I'm not sure when that will be.
Hmm.
So to even get access to this beautiful bidder that's still in closed beta, you need to ask first your Max account manager to basically vouch for you, like to Amazon, and then in turn they will
Hmm.
whitelist you. Can happen in a week, can happen in a month, can happen in 2 months, can happen in three. It's all up to how good pretty much your Max account manager like sells you to Amazon. So, if you want to get listed for some banners on Amazon, make sure you lean on your account manager or maybe, buy him a cookie, buy him a coffee. Yeah, that's how it works.
If you have Amazon rep already, you can talk to him directly or her directly,
Yeah,
and then
but I don't think anyone does. Like, it's hard to get these guys. Like, I
okay,
don't think it's that big team yet. I have no idea, but I haven't spoken to anyone yet. But I've been
yeah,
whitelisted, so they've
there you
spoken
go.
about me.
Okay, now well,
Yeah,
I worked with them on the UA side a couple of years ago, so I guess they still exist, but we'll see,
yeah.
right?
So once you're whitelisted, that's when you can integrate it into your games. And once the Amazon adapter is set up, that's when you actually need to go and set up the actual bidder ID. And here's where APS actually deviates quite a lot from the norm. So in Max, it's listed as a bidder, but in the Amazon dashboard, when you set up your kind of game, and usually here you put in like a bidder ID and you like put that in Max. Here you get a CSV file where basically you- basically the
Yes.
CSV file contains a like four price ranges with 400 different price point placements. So
Amazing.
basically it's like four ranges. The first range ranges from like 1 cent up to $2 and basically does it in 1 cent increments. And then the range two is 5 cent increments from 205 to 10. And then the third range is like 25 cent increments from 10.25 up to 30. And then the fourth range ends at 40, going up in $1 increments. So don't think that's a bidder.
What the
I
fuck?
think it sounds a bit more like 450 placements outside of Max, but
Yeah.
if it works, not really my problem. But yeah, anyway. Hey ho, what do I know? Another funny quirk is that APS only reports revenue to Max every 24 hours instead of hourly. Um,
Hmm.
okay, so I'm generally getting the feeling that Max had to eat maybe a little bit of shit to get Amazon to commit to them because, like, no one else has Amazon right now as like bidding on like in kind of
Hmm.
our space. So I guess when you're negotiating with a company that's a mega cap like Amazon, you just have to give and take a bit. But yeah. So before going to kind of the results, I just want to play a little bit of abbreviation bingo. So APS is made of two components. I had to read up on this because I got very confused as well. So TAM and UAM. So TAM is the transparent ad marketplace, and the UAM stands for the unified ad marketplace. So when you sign up to Amazon, you don't get access to TAM, you get access to UAM first. So, okay. So I'm only using UAM at the moment, but I'm hearing from like other publishers that are using Amazon and they're telling amazing things about it is that the key to actually like having good performance is TAM. So TAM is the good stuff. The only
Yeah.
annoying thing is if you want to start working on like via TAM, not UAM, there's like a long list of DSPs that are on TAM, uh, but you need to have an individual IO with every one of those DSPs to
Ooh,
make it to start
amazing.
working. So, you're talking like 4 to maybe 10 IOs if you want to make it work. So, in summary, if APS is an ice cream sundae, UAM is the ice cream when tam is the sprinkles, the whipped cream, and the cherry on top. And by the way, also another funny quirk is like you can also so tell it's so designed by like Americans because in every network dashboard, America is written out as the United States or the United States of
Yeah.
America. In apps, is only written out as us, not USA, just US.
Yeah.
And in their
Yeah.
analytics dashboard, there's like 6 countries, and then they group the rest of the world into other countries. And it's only like powerful countries like Australia, Brazil, Canada, China, India, Japan, Saudi Arabia, and then
Or
US, and then it's
Kingdom of Saudi
yeah,
Arabia.
Kingdom of Saudi
That
Arabia.
is
Now it sounds American.
Exactly.
yeah, that is
And then the
American.
rest is just like other countries. So to the results, what I'm seeing so far. So far so good. Nothing out of it like exceptionally well, but that's because I'm only using UAM. So far, ECPM in the US is about 10% over what I'm seeing kind of as the average. But what I'm seeing this doing is absolutely demolishing Meta's share of revenue in like
Mm,
the games. So like yeah, Meta's getting his lunch eaten by this e-commerce inventory, which looks
amazing.
quite good. I'm working on integrating TAM where I'm testing this right now, so I'll be able to tell you exactly how good it is. But yeah, it sounds like yeah, Meta might be in a bit of trouble, and I'm getting quite excited. And yeah, I'm very excited to be following this, and I'll be reporting back on its performance. And I'll let you guys know if you guys should lean
Yeah.
on your account managers to get whitelisted.
Yeah,
Just a
that
bit
would be
curious as
amazing.
well, like Machi, did you try UA with them? Because now they're gonna have gaming inventory, I guess.
They already had this type of gaming inventory in the past, but I think they closed it and now reopened it. The same thing as Apple did with their iAd ad network back in days. Now they're apparently working on the DSP. But yeah, so I worked with these a few years back. It was quite good. The performance was quite good for all the female-oriented games that I managed. On I guess it was on the apps. I had no idea what like TAM and UAM back then, if it was a thing. But their own network with super low scale but pretty good quality. But again, that's like 4 years ago. That
Was
was
there
also
video
running.
or was it only banner?
It was banners, I think. It was still only
Wasn't that
banners.
the whole thing around that it was like a complete black box or something, if I remember?
Well, you remember most probably the other campaign, which was Amazon Kindle Wake Screen.
Yeah, that
So
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a campaign where you were showing your creatives on the Kindle Fire when you were just trying to wake up the Kindle from being off. And there was the placement where you could show static image cinematograph, which is basically a static image with one object that was animated, or a classic video. The way they were sharing the ROAS numbers from their side was pretty amazing because they were sending like daily export of CSV files, so there was no dashboard, nothing. It was really like yeah, that was the black box Jakub is talking about. But it was working super well in the US, and then they opened up UK and France and Germany. And if I was looking at the match three genre, like all the bigger match three games running campaigns there, and it was all like homescapes and gardenscapes back in those days. So I think this could be again pretty good campaign type for a lot of female oriented games. By the way, is it me or Jakub is frozen? Do you see
You're
him?
frozen.
Okay, so it's only on my side. Jakub is frozen. Okay, you have very very weird look on on your face on my computer. Oh, but I guess you're fine. So at least you can hear me. So I don't need to
Don't
draw.
worry, my
I
internet is better than yours, man.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure. No, I'm on the
I'm
cable.
sure.
I'm on the cable, dude. So I'm fine. But yeah, I don't need to draw you again in the YouTube YouTube video, which is fine. So yeah, well, Amazon, yeah, let's do it. I've seen these well, I think pictures about the LTV and ARPUs and all these like fun stuff comparison between Google, iOS, and Amazon. Obviously, Amazon was the highest of all because of it was in the Amazon documents as
Yeah.
usual. No,
Well,
it was good, but low scale.
if you go
So I
live,
guess
like, I would be interested to hear how it actually goes. Like if you're doing a UA campaign in the next couple of weeks, like using Amazon, I'd be really curious to know how it goes.
no, yeah, that would be great. No, we were actually look. So we were spending what like a million a month, and it was like 250 on Amazon only. So yeah, 25% of the whole budget was going to Amazon. And I know like it was working super well in like January, February, and March. January because all these like new Kindle Fires were out there thanks to Christmas, and then it was a little bit declining over the summer, and then it was getting back into its like best performance at the end of the year. So yeah,
25%?
yeah,
Remo, does
yeah,
that sound diversified to you? What?
of course, dude. Diversification even before I was talking about it for a couple of months. So I'm always ahead. I'm always ahead.
I don't think so. There were that many channels before to kind of pick from,
Yeah,
like 4 years ago
they
or where it was.
they were still out there, but this wasn't performing that well as Facebook or Google. Well, back then I was bitching all about Google. Now I'm bitching all about Facebook. So I'm all bitching all about something anyway. So
Mm.
it's okay. It's okay. But no, it was definitely like Amazon, then Facebook, and I guess a little bit of Google here and there. But mainly running on Facebook back in
By
days.
the way, one tidbit from the thing you said, if you would look at the numbers, I mean, the share percentage of the market for
Mm.
this year, would they differ greatly, you think? Or like what's the current estimate that they will end up being? Because I don't think so. Facebook will be 24% of the market. So
It's going to be very
No.
close between them. Yeah, it's going to be very close between. Wouldn't
what's the
surprise me.
prediction here that this will end up?
Oh,
Amazon is
fuck off
absolutely
with predictions.
yeah. Amazon is going to destroy Facebook in the long run. Like, has to happen.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah, well, depends what kind of advertising they're going to do or offer
Who,
for the
Facebook?
no
VR, of
Amazon.
course.
Amazon. Ah, fuck. Yes.
No, no. If no, no. If Tam is as good as people are telling me it is,
Yeah.
people who's like, yeah, you should definitely you have to run with Tam if you're using APS. If that's as good as people are telling me, I'm going to be pushing this super hard. And then like
Oh,
when something works, you're going to be rolling it out real quick as an ad one person because the money's there. So yeah,
yeah. So
Mm.
this episode is brought to you by Amazon
yeah.
IPS. Thank
Thanks,
you very
Jeff.
much. No, but
Anyway,
look, I was also like one of these guys like watching for UA on Amazon for any like female oriented games, like 100%. So if that's gonna happen again, I'm in. I'm in. But yeah, let's talk about some global launch scenario. Let's say so. Global launch is this is something I shared in the newsletter, and it was kind of like interesting. So the global launch is in the full swing. Everything looks amazing. Well, we discussed how to global launch your game back in one of our sessions. So everything looks amazing. All the golden cohorts, everybody's is happy until it doesn't, and golden cohort is starting to fade off. Results are declining, and the creative fatigue hits you in your face. So what do you do now? It's panic mode on. Everybody is just screaming and running around, turning off almost all of your campaigns, just decreasing budgets by 70% at once because middle management doesn't think you need to spend more when the results are declining. So this was the best part of the whole tip. Well, fuck you, middle management. Because you don't know shit about the UA, you only care about the Excel sheets and tables and P&Ls, which is okay. I mean, of course, you should definitely worry about that. But in terms of the UA, we don't panic at all. Why? Well, because we already knew this would happen anyway, sooner or later, and we are always prepared. What is happening is basically we're starting to turn off the campaigns and like decrease the budgets by 10-20% of the most like inefficient spend or inefficient spend. We're refreshing the creatives. Of course, it's needed at this point because the CPIs are increasing heavily. Of course, because golden cohort is fading off. And you have multiple winning creatives from the soft launch because you're a very good UA manager. So after this very short
Where's
Sure.
the tip, man? Like you
Where's
have
the tip?
creatives that are great from
Dude,
Softla, just
no.
use
A
those.
lot of fluff
No,
here.
the tip is, dude, the tip is don't panic. You know how many people are just panicking and just turning off everything because somebody says it's bullshit. It's bullshit. You are
But
prepared
what's
for
the
everything.
I'm gonna
what's the
panic if you don't get to a point.
yeah, what's the lesson, man? Like keep spending money even if ROAS goes down, or
No,
what's
the tip here is, of course, if you see a decline on the results, let's not do like a huge change at once because it will kick you in your ass afterwards if you want to just restart the campaigns again. Of course, there are definitely some campaigns which are maybe not so efficient as the others. Sure, let's get rid of those. But there are maybe like some campaigns in between which, as a UA manager, you wouldn't most probably kill, but somebody else will tell you, "Hey, kill it because we are losing money." Of course, yes, you could do that, but then after some campaigns or some numbers are going to get better, everybody's like, "Oh well, let's spend again." And then restarting those campaigns will take longer because, well, learning phase, everything, blah 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 blah. So vicious circle. It's really
so?
like
What's the
that.
tip? Like don't completely turn
Don't
off
panic.
UA, just turn
Yeah,
half of it off.
not yeah. Let's do it like slowly and steadily and in control, and not like, hey, oh, we are fucked because we are losing money. Let's kill everything. No, just step by step. That's it. It's easy. Well, you've not been in those kind of situation apparently. I've been there multiple times. It really sucks. Oh well,
You mean
no.
after global land situation? I was there.
Oh yeah, of course. But you were not spending a million a month or a couple of hundred of thousands a day as well. But yeah, of course. I mean, it's easy. I mean, it's easier to turn off everything at once. There you go.
Say, Maciej, that sounds like a really good tip if you're spending a million a month. But what happens if you have a lower UA budget?
Yeah, but I wanted to say, oh, okay. Well, if you, what a nice segue! What a nice segue! Well, if you have a low budget, well, obviously, if you have a low budget, you use only one network. And there is a problem if you are spending low budget, and there is a problem if you are spending a big budget, of course. But if you have one network, the campaign structure should be super simple. You're looking at your data from the revenue perspective, trying to target top five geos or like the best top five geos in one geo bucket, and most probably in this situation, I would go with value optimization or something that could actually give you the best possible results in this type of like simple structure. If you have ad monetized game, then ad is it is. Felix?
No, just shout out
Ad
to Admon.
monetized. Okay.
There we go.
Okay. Okay. So even though I bitch about Facebook all the time, in this case, I would start with Facebook from the day zero or day one. Use this strategy until I see some decline in terms of numbers, and then move quickly to Google and the TROAS right away. Now you could argue that with low budget you won't be able to get enough signals, but honestly you don't have any other option too much. With ad monetized games, starting with Google AdROAS campaigns right away, target top five geos again in one campaign, maybe based on the ECPMs or the number of revenue. Both options are kind of okay from my point of view.
How big are these campaigns in context of scale? If let's say I'm running a typical 70-30, 70 IPs, 30% ads game. So I'm
You mean
spending some
AdROAS
UA
campaigns?
budget, it's
Yeah.
going down, and we're kind of trying to optimize. So let's try AdROAS campaign. So how much percentage of UA budget that would be allocated around
Well, if you have 30% of
revenue
the
coming from
revenue
ads?
coming from ads, it wouldn't be very big scale. And very big scale here means anything between 150 dollars per day to maybe 500 a day, and that the 500 a day would be just most likely a stretch in
Hmm.
some cases. So like this is like super low budget, but it can work quite well even with this type of budget. But yeah, if you want to scale to millions, most probably this is very far from the goal. But back to the low budget, actually, because there's like some other things that you can do when you get some money back from the Adras campaigns. I would try to open up Unity and Adras in here as well, most likely with the best performing country, or the best country, which I assume is US, which you need to go through the CPI campaign, but it's not going to take too long until you get to the Adras campaigns. In this case, it should be like a couple of days. So I would just do this and repeat until I get comfortable with the cash flow and start earning some money on the short term, and then start opening up the channels, like again other channels, TikTok, and then Facebook again, and then the new Unity uploving as well. Uploving works quite well on the AdWords campaigns.
Is there, like, if you're on a low UA budget, is there any networks you should avoid in particular?
Well, all the DSPs, I guess, you need a significant amount of data to be able to run it efficiently. That's first thing, and then I would start with Google, which usually is the most efficient these days, at least.
Hmm.
Good tip.
Well, really,
I like it. Yeah,
really, really.
low UA spend. Like this, like majority of publishers, like our game developers out there, don't have massive budgets. So yeah, it's actually a good tip.
Hmm. By the way, regarding this, if we are at this topic, when's the actual time to increase the budget? Like, I don't think so. We ever talk about that one because if I get it right, it's kind of like downhill situation for most of people from global launch, and either you stabilize or you're just going downhill until the thing dies out. So
Oh, it's
I know some bigger games they just go like like a roller coaster. Sometimes higher budget, sometimes lower budget.
yeah, that's what we discussed with the in the scaling session, because you can't just scale and grow for eternity. There are some periods of time, even after the global launch, if you need to decrease the budgets, you will find a new like baseline of budget that you can actually well, sustain for some time. Then, of course, you need help from the game perspective until
Of course.
yeah, until until your LTV can improve, or there is a new content or something that happens, and then you can scale again or grow the budget again. So it's
Mm.
not always like, yeah, well, we are decreasing budgets to zero, and then, well, we never scale again.
So you're saying it's more like thanks to internal factors rather than external, like seasonality and other games trying
It can
to catch
it
your
can be
fish.
yeah, it can be seasonality as well. Like, there are internal and external factors always, but internal has a bigger impact on the overall budget, I would say. Of course, there can be a factor of like, well, Q1 is always better in terms of the UA, so you can grow the budget there because that is less competition. But these days, it's not even less
Mm.
competition anymore, unfortunately.
Okay,
So
so
so it's a
don't get
it's a combination, but yeah, internal factors definitely bigger impact on the
so
on the
do your
UA.
homework.
Mm,
Don't
yeah,
complain
Yeah.
about external factors.
yeah,
All right. Should we move
yeah.
to
Let's move to the game.
the
Remo's, I guess, actually was quite good.
yeah? Let's see.
Should I do another smooth transition?
Yeah. If you have something in your sleeve, then let's do that.
Yeah. You know how people sometimes count sheep to go to bed? Remo has an update on. No, no, I'm joking.
Really?
That's
No, no.
amazing.
Yeah, it's
No,
amazing.
in this case, people count sheep depending on how many ads they watch because these games
It-
is killing it.
yeah, and
So
those guys are counting money, right?
Yeah. So
exactly.
on our new segment this week in China, Remo is gonna be Remo is gonna give
Yeah,
us an
but
update on a brand new game that's taking China by storm.
yeah, but honestly, like I was shown this game at PGC by a few industry friends, and like
Well, you don't have
yeah,
friends, dude. Come on.
You only have interests, Remo.
Yeah, you don't have friends.
anyway,
Well,
uh,
anyway.
and the thing is that I tried to dig up into this story because it seems kind of suspicious to begin with, because it was kind of genius. But yeah, let's dig into it because I guess there's
Suspicious.
more than meets the eye. So, if you haven't known, this is pretty much mainstream news. In last 2 weeks, like CNBC and like normal media. I don't think so. Our current like gaming media did pick this up yet.
Normal media.
There's a game called Sheep a Sheep. Won't read the Chinese name. Sorry, I will butcher it anyway. And this is a game that basically sits within the Tencent WeChat app that is taking China by storm. Like the popularity is over the top, and it's pretty much spreading throughout the app itself. You don't even need to download it. Like get to it later. So it's pretty much HTML5 game. Um, the game sits inside also Douyin, which is the
Chinese TikTok.
alternative to Chinese TikTok. So I guess that's also one thing quite so viral there. But anyway, just to remember, we've been here before when Facebook tried to implement the HTML5 games into it and didn't really go well. So I guess they did succeed with this in China because this is kind of a very, very, very viral. And we were looking into it in a way like if they're even running any UA, but we couldn't find anything. So my guess is they don't even have any UA currently.
Yeah, I was trying to find it in a social PETA, the one tool they have also like at China inventory. Well, maybe if I actually speak Chinese, then I would be more efficient. But unfortunately, I don't.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So just by our rude copy pasting Chinese characters into internet and trying to search it, we
yeah,
didn't find anything. Yeah, but anyway, this game is produced by Beijing Jianhou Technology that was founded last year with 170K investment, if I get it right. And the company registered the game in July this year, and then weeks later, in early September, they actually release it. Keep in mind this date because it will get more interesting as we go.
17th of July.
No, no, no. That this year's July they registered the
Okay.
game, and then in September already launched it.
Okay.
okay.
So it's like it was pretty much the hype of it as I was going through the media
Yeah,
was like
mid
15th of
September,
September,
mid September.
mid
Yeah.
September. Yeah, yeah. So this is a stark contrast to some of the biggest kind of Chinese game publishers currently that are struggling with the country new approval laws, which are taking, let's say, there was an example in one article where NetEase, like it's the second biggest after Tencent, it took them 10 months after the registration to kind of get the game out. And everybody was kind of trying to search these lists because like those lists came out every month in China and like which are the new games that get approved, and they didn't find this game even in it, I think. So let's see. Um, so one of the things that like I see here is that it seems that Chinese kind of developers found this kind of a loophole that they can bypass through this kind of very very big process, because if you look at the game and play it, actually it doesn't seem it's kind of a that kind of easy or lightweight. It actually is pretty kind of big, to be honest. And as I was looking over the internet, I actually found like few clones of it, and then like wait a minute, like these are not clones, they are the clone. And there's an interesting kind of a look. If you look into the charts, you can see that like
So
similar games.
who is the clone
My guess is the China game is the clone, the sheep game is a clone, or let's
of
say
what
an
exactly?
iteration.
Another sheep of sheep?
No, no, no. It's called match style. Pretty
Oh yeah,
much
okay.
like a new puzzle mechanic that
Yeah,
are
okay,
being
I know.
used by hyper casual games. So first that I saw in the charts, could be wrong, don't know, but pretty much yeah, there were like hundreds of them already. So there's Match Style 3D by Lion that was released
Mm,
February last year, which is kind of easy. It's physics based. It's still not this thing that we're talking about,
yeah.
but it was there. And then you have Triple Tile from Triple Dot Studios that is July 8th, and Tile Match Crazy, which is
It's
April,
tile match from Crazy Labs.
from Crazy Love, which is April.
Yeah.
So, and these are the games that actually look completely the same as the game we are currently looking at, which is that you have this kind of a chessboard, which is similar to Mahjong, and you need to remove the tiles one by one. And then when you have three of the same, they disappear, and you have kind of a limited space that you can kind of try to get out. And there's boosters.
Where are the sheeps? What the fuck? Where
Yeah,
are the
we'll get to the
sheeps?
sheeps.
Okay.
The thing is that it seems that the Chinese sheep game cloned this thing and then added sheeps and this kind of whole sheep team around it, where it actually builds up a story, and people are even kind of getting their Chinese province kind of sheep, so they have the leaderboards like around, themed around China provinces, where every province is like different sheep, different leaderboards and everything. And the game's kind of a little bit more complicated, where there's like multiple more Like you have these pretty much like decks of cards, so they have decks of tiles that you need to remove on top of it. So it's actually harder, and this is the killer in the whole story. The game's second level is impossible, and I stress that it's literally impossible. Go it, install it in WeChat, try it. It's literally impossible. And if you look at all the match style games that have been put out, the hyper casual ones, like I've been playing those, and like yeah, you blaze through 10 levels like in like one sitting or something, like 20 minutes. It's very easy, relaxing, or something. But this game, it's actually literally impossible already in the second level. It's like Flappy Bird hard. And the first level is pretty much a tutorial, so there's nothing. You just click on tiles and you know how you control them, and this is how I put them down, this is how they disappeared, here you go. And then the second level is already super super hard. There are guides on the internet how to pass it, but my friends were telling me even according when they were following the guys, they couldn't pass it. So I dig deeper into it, and it seems that some Android players managed to hack the game, making sure the game styles would pop up in the most matchable sequences. But even with the hack, the second level can take up to 60 tries to finish to actually do it. And then when I look more into it, one player can pass the level in every 100,000 rounds, it seems, as people were like data mining the game. So it's obnoxiously, frustratingly difficult. And I guess this is the thing that makes it like why it makes so much money. And let me get back to it. So, in order for you to play this game, you need to collect the tiles. But in the end, your kind of extra inventory on the bottom, where we are matching, because you cannot match on top of the chest, but you just need to pull them down. It gets full pretty fast, like immediately, basically. So what you can do is you can add more slots to the inventory if you fail, like the usual like plus moves that we're used to, by watching an ad. You can undo your
Love it.
move, you can reshuffle the stuff, you can do some kind of helper. So there's 4 boosters that are there for ads. So it's great. But the killer part comes in when you see that if you watch the ads, or pretty much you cannot watch the ads anymore, you can still share it on WeChat directly to your friend's DM, and then you get the booster.
Yes, that's how it explodes.
Yeah, that's probably how it explodes, because this is, it's really great because you are giving someone a direct message in WeChat. It's not that obnoxious as we're used to, like Farmville pins that were flowing around and haystacks on everybody's walls. You don't see like it explode that much, but you're pretty much giving your friends a personal message from yourself to kind of play this game. So yeah, and the thing is that I don't think so. It's stopping, or like people were talking about it that it's like a scam or not scam. Why is it so hard? And pretty much this whole controversy made it in a way that like everybody's talking around it in China. Everybody's trying to solve it, and the rumors are. And this is very very heavy rumor part, that this game is making something around 700K a day, or 3 to 3.6 million in the last month. I mean, from
Mm.
September. Or the other rumor I heard is like they're making $7 million a day on ads already.
That's a
So
Okay.
lot of
rumors
impressions, man.
Well, yeah.
rumors are wild, but keep in mind that WeChat is everything in China. Like every Chinese
Yeah.
user pretty much spends lots of time in WeChat. You can play this game literally by just clicking on the message that somebody sent you, like similarly as they would do in WhatsApp. And the game is so hard that you're pretty much hitting your head against the wall directly in the second level all the time.
There's
Flappy
there's there's
Flappy
something
Bird
to
all over
that.
again.
Yeah, there's something to that because I remember I was like in my early days in my like career in like this industry, I was at the King office in London, and they said that one of the biggest monetization indicators in Candy Crush was that if a user passed, I think it was level 48 or 52, which was made unnecessarily like hard,
Like a
and
blocker level.
basically they ran more retargeting campaigns on people who passed that level with different creatives that basically and they perform better. So there's definitely some truth to this that basically if you make the game extra hard, you can like monetize better in the long run.
And if you make a game extra hard in China or Asia, then that's the key.
It's a challenge.
But, but
Yeah.
but the thing is that it takes like kind of a lot of time to actually pass the level. It's not that easy. It's like
Mm.
takes you a lot of time to get there. And like why not help a little bit? So let's watch one ad. Like I still have these other boosters. Let's watch the other ad. Let's watch, and then you're pretty much watching hours of ads on the same level all over again.
Okay, but then the CPM actually after what, like sixth view or sixth ad, it's
Fifth.
declining, right? Fifth.
Yeah.
There you go. So I mean,
Yeah, and that's the part where you start sending messages to your friends because
okay,
you cannot watch any more ads. So they're
okay. So you
pretty
watch, yeah, you
clever.
watch. Okay, so you watch 4 or 5 ads, and
Then you start sending
then you start
messages
sending
because you still
messages.
want those boosters, and it's even
Okay.
better because now you're getting free installs instead of ads.
Yeah. Do you think it would work in like normal mobile environment as
You mean
well as?
Western environment?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't think so. Like, I don't know how
Oh,
much
I don't
kind of a.
think so. We want hard
Let me just
facts.
explain. Let me explain.
Okay.
Uh, Even if you look at Flappy Bird, Flappy
Yeah.
Bird wasn't the online sensation that it was if PewDiePie would not play it on his stream and pretty
Yeah.
much get everyone into it. It was sitting on the store for a year doing nothing. So that's the virality factor, and I guess it's same as these kind of like online challenges that people do ridiculous stuff, but they just want to try it and like participate in the crowd or do something similar. And I guess this thing kind of ended up on the same wave that it's so hard that everybody is like,
Mm.
oh, of course I'm gonna pass it.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah.
clever,
Yeah.
and,
I
and
can
then
do
you get
it.
your ass kicked and watch a shit ton of ads. So I guess it's this thing. But the other thing is that the design is also really clever. And if you mix in the virality of WeChat and you are basically, spamming people with this game install, that you just, send them into their direct message, I guess it kind of
Okay, so
do.
how many levels are there? Like 5? If you can't
Maybe
pass, if you
this
can't
can
pass
this
the
can
second.
sustain itself with just 5 levels, it seems.
How much does Tencent take of transaction that happens inside a WeChat or a impression, or like how does that work?
My guess is 100%. Or is it? If it's a game published by Tencent,
Oh, it is published by Tencent.
would guess so. Or don't know, it's ByteDance or Tencent.
No,
No.
it's just it sits inside Binance
Yeah. So I
holding.
guess
Oh,
it's
okay.
that
So no,
studio
we
we
don't
talk about,
know.
the Beijing Jiahu technology, and they just get like I guess a deal with Tencent. But I know Tencent deals are kind of
Guys, we need to go to China. Like seriously, find out
Yeah,
like all what's going on there. It's super interesting. Like it's just so foreign.
100%.
Like I just want to know how everything works. Yeah, it's
it
just
works
so closed
completely
off.
different. Like some things just work different. But my guess is that what's the other important part of the story? Not really like the big gains controversies and everything, is that uh, this game just got there very very fast. And
Yeah.
I'm looking at it as we have like multiple mobile games that like this game cloned from. I'm guessed it could be one of the ways to kind of for Chinese publishers until this loophole gets plugged to kind of get published super fast and like
Sure, but
pretty
it's
much.
HTML5. You can't, put Genshin Impact as HTML5.
Of course, like you're not doing Unreal 5 graphics there, but still, like if it makes I don't know how many millions a day, why not?
Sure, but like, what would be the point for like I don't know, like different companies do they want to like publish Clash of Clans? So I'm making this up, right? So why would they make HTML5 game just because they want to make money from China? Great, but I want to get my game published there, like my free to play game. That's the main point.
You
I
mean
don't.
my mobile game
Yeah, my mobile
from the
game.
West into the WeChat app?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You mean no, you need to make HTML5. What do you mean?
Why would I be taking all my resources to
No,
build
no,
this
we're
type of
not
game?
talking about Western people making money in China. We're
Okay,
talking about Chinese people making money in
Okay,
China.
okay,
Western
okay,
people can just watch from the sidelines
okay,
and
okay. Then
be envious. That's
and
it.
and wave. Okay, smile and wave. Okay, okay. In that case, it makes sense. All right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good. Anything else? Wanna humiliate me a little bit more about the global?
It's a no bullshit
I
podcast,
know, I
man.
know,
And
I
then
know, I know,
suddenly, like, yeah, you're talking
dude,
about, don't panic.
dude. It's well, you will see. I got pretty good feedback from that actually. Yeah, with that we can end here, and thank you very much, guys. Please subscribe on YouTube, Apple, or Spotify to get more no bullshit podcasts.
Yeah, try the second level if it's that hard as you think it is.
All right. Thank you. All right. Until next time. Bye bye.
See
Bye.
ya.